I was the very first one in the Dented Fender. Barb and I took a Dave Ramsey class at the Vineyard Church. And we met, and when you just meet someone, you just click, and you click. And so we did, and we became friends, and then my daughter got very ill, so we got separated during that time. And then she called me one day, and we decided to meet for lunch, and she came to Christ Hospital, and we're having lunch, and we both said we really felt that God had put it on our hearts to do something for people, but we had no idea what it looked like, and we had no idea how it was going to be. She had, I don't know if she shared her vision with you, but she had her vision already, but really didn't know where to go with that and what that was going to look like. So we sat there in Christ Hospital that day and said, we need to do something. And so Barb started writing, and we would meet at her apartment, and I would do some editing. She would send me things to look at, and we would brainstorm, and we were all over the board. The Dented Fender wasn't the Dented Fender yet. Wes had not backed her car into a pole yet. So it's crazy. We were just out there talking about how crazy this journey has been. So that's how I met Barb, and then we just started, the two of us, and then people would come along our path. The Dented Fender, or the Boldly Shine class, finally got written. We were stapling papers together, and we started up at Crossroads. We did classes at Crossroads, Mason, and Vineyard. We would be stapling papers together and getting things ready, and it's amazing how we started. When we first started this ministry, and when we first, and I have jumped in and out of this ministry. I've been on the board, I've been a facilitator, I've run the slides, and now I don't do much of anything because of life. Life happens. So I come and go into the Dented Fender and Boldly Shine. So initially, I would look for people that I thought Boldly Shine class would be good for. That was where my lens was looking at. This could be really good for people. And I sat through so many of those classes. I facilitated so many of those classes. I read the book so many times. I read proof that as she wrote the book. And so all that stuff's going into my head, but I'm really thinking, this is for other people. This is going to help other people. And I would use the principles in my own life from my own little issues, but then, man, I fell into a pit, a giant, horrible pit. I was married, and my husband's drinking problem became really serious and out of control, and I'm a fixer, so I tried to fix everything that I could, and tried to work with him and stick in there with him, because it's an illness, it's a sickness. So I thought, I'm a nurse, I can help people, and so that didn't help. And then it started getting physical. So off and on for 3 years, I would come and go, and I would leave, but I was stuck in a tunnel, and I was sick too. I was really sick. So yeah, I've had my own tunnel, but I've been in the pit. I landed in the pit. I thought all that time I sat in those Boldly Shine classes, it was for everybody else and not for me. And not that I was better than that, but my life was good and everything was sailing along. But there I find myself in that pit, and thank God I had those principles to walk closer to God and had God to get closer to God. So working the principles, and it's work. It wasn't easy. It sucked at times. It really did, because whose tunnel doesn't stink? But having been through that much and having been that involved in Boldly Shine, I got to use it for me. And I got to learn that I could develop a new vision for my life, that God did lay out a plan for me. And even though it wasn't the path I ever thought I'd be on, He knew I'd be there, and He met me right there. And using the principles with intentionality and setting a vision for myself, and using my wise advisors that I learned about and so value, that my wise advisors would speak truth to me, but they would also give me grace when I needed it. And I needed both at the time, because I was in my tunnel and I was climbing out. But those principles and Boldly Shine really helped me figure out my path for my life, get out of that tunnel, and really believe believe to my core that I am a child of God, that I do have value, that I am loved, that I am not alone, and there is a purpose for my life. When you're in that pit, you don't know that. So I think for me, Boldly Shine gave me that glimmer of hope, that light at the end of that tunnel that I could see. I've been through Boldly Shine several times, or many times, and every time I would pick up a different nugget, because I would be at a different point in my life. Maybe one of my kids was having an issue and dealing with something with my kids, but pulling God into my issues was really huge. It changed a lot for me. You know, I told you I'm a nurse, and nurses think we can fix everybody, but we don't always involve God in that. And so I think when I get out of my own way and let God do his thing, I do a lot better. Control still to this day. I would love to tell you that I've been through the Boldly Shine classes, I love God, and my life is super. That's not true. I still have control issues that I think I can fix this or negotiate this or navigate this, and then I have to get, like I said, get out of my own way and let God do the work for me. And he really does. It's amazing to me. He really does have a plan for my life. There are things since my divorce that if I wouldn't have trusted, if I wouldn't have let go, if I wouldn't have surrendered, like the word you used was surrendered, if I wouldn't have surrendered, I would not have had some of the beautiful, unexpected experiences that I have that have been amazing. I have a good life, in spite of my circumstances, in spite of the things that have happened to me. It's crazy.